What's up, guys? So I was asked to check out some rugged smartphones under 200 bucks, so we're gonna cap it there. So let's get started with the Black View. This is the BV5500 Pro. So it's a really nice looking smartphone. I like the design on here. Now it does kind of have the bigger bezels, but for most people they really only care about the design. So it does have an IP68 rated, so it is waterproof. If you drop this guy, as you can see, it's got the edges, so this is a phone you won't be able to break very easy. And if you're out hiking and stuff like that, or just outdoors and you want something a little bit more dependable, then you can use this as a backup phone instead of your main phone. So you do get Android 9.0, 3 gigs of RAM and 16 gigabytes of storage. You do have an octa-core processor on here, as well as a 5.5 inch display. So they claim that it is a full HD display, but from what I've seen, it's really like it's 720. It's kind of in the middle because it's 720 by 1440, so it's not exactly 1080p, but it's a really nice display for a 5.5 inch. Now you've got a dual camera setup on here, an 8 megapixel and a 0.3 megapixel rear cameras with a 5 megapixel front camera for selfies. So now you do have expandable storage, so you can expand that if you would like to. Now the most important thing with a rugged smartphone, I feel, is battery life. Since you're going to be outdoors, this has a pretty big 4,400 milliamp battery that will be able to get you a day and a half of battery life. I use a lot of 4,000 milliamp battery smartphones, and you're definitely going to get that on here since you have that extra 400 milliamps. So this is a really nice phone to consider. Now the next is the Cuba King Kong 3. Now I'm not crazy about the design on this one. It's not as nice looking as the Black View, but you know, you could like the design a little bit more, but it does have some trade-offs that are pretty interesting. Now this comes in at 200 bucks, but there is a coupon where you can save 40 bucks. I don't know how long these coupons are going to last, so you're going to have to jump on it if you're really serious about getting one. Now of course you have that IP68 waterproof rating, a 5.5 inch HD plus display. You also have a 6,000 milliamp battery, so this phone will be like, it'll be pretty hard to kill this phone, especially if you're a light user or if you're just outdoors. It'll be very hard. This phone will, at least I think 6,000 milliamps should get you through 3 days. At least if you're a light user, you could probably squeeze more out of it. So that is very impressive. You do have fast charging on here, along with 4 gigabytes of RAM and 64 gigabytes of storage. Now the only thing about this phone is you have Android Oreo still, so this phone is not getting updates. It's not getting Pie update is what it's looking like. But you know, I would use this as like a backup phone, like I said, if you're outdoors. Now you do have a 13 plus a 16 megapixel camera on here. You have NFC as well for mobile payments with a fingerprint scanner. The cool thing about this is that you get that 4 gigs of RAM, like I said, with 64 gigabytes of storage, which is awesome. And you have the MediaTek P23 processor. That's kind of like a low-end chip, so I wouldn't be like doing too much crazy gaming on here. I wouldn't expect too much out of it. This is really a battery and really a media consumption phone. Now again, I would buy this one solely because you have that 6,000 milliamp battery, and if you really need the maximum amount of battery life, this is going to be the phone to get. Now the Eula Armor X5 is like the best one on the list in my opinion. Now it's kind of in the middle of the first two. So you have a price tag of 160 bucks, but you've also got, in my opinion, the best design on here. It's a really nice rugged design, and it is IP68, of course. You do have Android Pie on here, which is very important. 3 gigs of RAM and 32 gigabytes of storage. Now what I like about this one is you have the 5,000 milliamp battery, which will again get you through 2 days of battery life, if not more, depending on how hard you use it. You also have that NFC, which I really love. So this does have a 5.5 inch HD plus display, which is pretty nice. So you do have an underwater mode on here, which is pretty interesting. So you can use this phone with gloves, which is very interesting. You also have a custom button on here for emergency situations, or if you just want to bring up the camera app really fast. So it's nice that they included that in here. So what I really love about this one is it's the best of the both worlds with this guy. Now the cool thing is this actually has the IP69K protection as well. So it's got that dip for 30 minutes and 1.5 meters of water, up to 24 hours in 1 meter of concrete with large drops, 1.2 meters deep. Very interesting. So I really like this phone, mostly because of the design. You have that NFC, It also has Android Pie. The specs are respectable. So hit up the description to check these phones out, and I will catch you guys in the next video.